Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Today we're going to be talking about fast results. I want fast results. Yeah, I'm just that kind of person that when I want my result, I want it fast. Yeah, we're going to be talking about chasing fast results or chasing results in general, or being overly attached to what you think getting that result should look like for you. I'm going to tell you why this is keeping you mediocre or worse, why it doesn't work, how you should be thinking instead, and give some examples of the rare times when fast results are actually a thing. So, the problem with being overly focused on the result and how fast you can get it is that you're kind of treating it as if it has nothing to do with you, who you are as a person. It's kind of like, no, I'm just me, this is me, but I want this result I want. What's the fastest way there? What's the fastest way to just take this and be like, I'm just me, but with this result. But you got to realize that all your results, the outcomes you're getting in life, are direct products of the person that you are. Of course, random things can happen that doesn't really reflect who we are as a person, but the results and outcomes you're getting consistently, that's you. That's who you are. So rather than thinking like, how can I get this? As if it was something outside of you, you should be thinking like, how do I become this? How do I mold myself into this result? Because you are it. Like especially your results, you are your results. But especially when we're talking about the body, fitness, like losing fat and putting on muscle, that's you. You are the result. So, do you think that the people that have gotten the best results with this did that because they were always looking for the fastest way? Or is it that they are just determined individuals like, yeah, I'm going to get this, I'm going to be the best, or I'm going to improve in this way. Who am I right now? Where am I lacking? What can I change? Where is room for improvement? What can I try? Have I thought about this? And just doing this consistently. Of course, it's the second option, right? Like, in fact, the best way to get, why it doesn't work, the fast results approach or being too results oriented, is it's the lack of focus on becoming, changing you. Because we all know this kind of person, or maybe you even are that person, but you know, that loses weight and puts it back on, loses weight again, puts it back on again. And that's either because they're results oriented and can like brute force something really aggressive for a short amount of time to just make some progress, but then they're going to be viewing it. When you have this kind of view, like how do I get the result fast? It's kind of like, how do I buy it? How do I, you're not thinking about like a long-term, a permanent change. It's like, oh, I've done it now. I'm done now. And then the only thing you have to gravitate towards, again, when you go off this diet or aggressive fasting or whatever you did, is the things that made you put on the weight in the first place, right? So either that happens, or because you're results oriented, or you want fast results and it doesn't go fast enough, you get discouraged and you just give up before you really get anywhere. Or because you want the fast result, you're thinking about like, what's the fastest way? And you're just thinking about what theoretically would be the fastest way. But then when it's time to do it, you can't. And then you get discouraged and you throw it all out. In fact, what you should be doing to get the best results is be thinking, what's the least I can do? What's the least I can do towards to move towards my goal? Because that's way more likely that you're going to be able to stick to, and then you build upon this, you improve this, you add things on, or you increase whatever you're doing, right? Doing this gradually. Like, I think sometimes people should be thinking of a thing like this, like, because people do this with a lot of things in life, but there are just certain things. Then do it without thinking of it, because there are certain things that people just feel like they have to do. Like work, for instance, having a job, of course, you probably have to. But what I mean is like, you come to a job, you have to do all these new things now. Maybe some of them are not fun, and some of them you're not used to, but you're just gonna do your best. You're gonna try to get the work done. You're not thinking immediately, how do I get fast results with this, right? You're just like, okay, I have this task to do now. I have to do it. Maybe you ask some questions, but you see what I mean? Then as time goes by, you're going to get better at it. The things you started out doing, you're going to get more efficient at it. And you're going to notice like, if I do it in this way, it goes way faster. It's way easier. I like it way more. That's something you grew into. you gradually shaped yourself into the person that does a better and better job at this. You should be looking at this with your transformation physically in the same way. You're like, it's really only the individual that, for very random reasons or something, like aren't that fit and they don't struggle too much with some kind of food addiction or whatever, like they might be able to do something more aggressive, you know, take on more than the individual who's really struggling with this, right? Like for some people, I've talked about this before, sometimes the fastest way, not the theoretically, but the actual fastest way, sometimes you have to go doing something that you feel like it has nothing to do with your actual goal at all. I'm going to give an example from myself here that's a little different, but you know, I've talked about this. If you're someone that struggles so much with food addiction, that it becomes like you can't lose weight. No matter what you do when you're thinking, I need to lose weight now, you're coming up short. Well, you're gonna have to take a step back and just try to change and work on your relationship to food without even thinking about weight loss. Funnily enough, sometimes when you let go of that result and focus on something you can do, that actually yields some progress towards the result you wanted in the first place. But you see, that kind of person might have to spend some time to just come up with it, like, oh, I like eating at these times, oh, these are healthier foods that I enjoy. Just getting a better relationship to food before they actually go and, you know what, now I'm going to try to lose it too, right? And so for myself, for instance, I've had this hip injury for a while. I could talk so much about it. It's a very interesting process for me. But basically, it's not the hip injury, but that's where I get the most symptoms. And so for a while last year, when I had this, the thing is, I'm strong in my legs. I'm good at squatting, but I know I'm nowhere near maxing out my potential. So I really want to just get thicker thighs and a stronger, heavier, better squat, right? So I tried to do that with this pain. It just didn't work. It just made the pain worse. So eventually I had to realize that, you know what, like if I'm just ruining my hip, I'm not going to get strong and big legs. I want to get fast results. I want it to happen in a certain way. But it's not up to me now. I have this thing. So what I did then was I adjusted the way I trained my legs without doing like pure rehab. I knew some of what the problem was. I, decreased the intensity and load, and I managed to squat that way. I managed to do some healing of the hip. But then I'm hungry for the kind of result I'm really looking for again. So when it got better, I started pushing the weights again, and I could move them better. But I started noticing that the things I was doing to keep improving this, they didn't really work anymore. I started going back and forth with it, and even if I trained hard and it felt all right, I was just stuck. I was stuck as long as I am having this problem with my hip. And I keep, because I want, I'm stubborn too, you know. I want my results, I want them in a certain way. I don't want to have to wait to push my squat numbers, but again, clearly I have to accept it isn't working this way. It just isn't. So now I'm actually doing like pure rehab. It sucks, it's so boring, you know. I have to back off. I feel like I'm not moving towards my goal, but this is what I have to do. It's again, I'm like the person, it's not the exact same thing, but you say, I think it's a decent comparison. I'm like the person that would like to lose weight, but it's just not an option. It just doesn't work out when they approach it that way. So they have to take a step back, set themselves up to be able to lose weight eventually. That's the same thing I'm doing now. I'm preparing for eventually being able to push my squat numbers and my leg size the way I'd like to, right? And a little parenthesis with this is that sometimes when you do this, you gain other benefits. You know, sometimes you're so focused on your thing that you get blind to other things. Something that happened when I had to change the way I squatted. I was doing very slow, like lighter weight, but going down as deep as I could and pass and explode up. And long story short, my hip mobility and squat depth has never been better, and my core strength has gotten so much better. I can also stay much more upright in my squats now. So I have actually improved my squat in a way, like the depth I always struggled with getting below parallel in squats, and now I can. So you see, that's a little parenthesis that sometimes when you're overly focused on your way, the result you want, the way you want it, you get blind to other things, right? And so, I had a last thing. Well, let's end by talking a bit about fast results when they are actually a thing. The thing is, we say often in the fitness world, right, that there are no fast results. It's all hard work, consistently, It's true. No one hit one workout the way, I'm jacked now. Or, they went on a diet for a day and now they're lean or whatever. But when you embrace what the process has to look like, the results come a lot faster than you think, especially if you're a beginner. The less advanced you are, the faster results you can get. So a few examples of this. Like with weight loss, for instance, I see people with these extreme ideas they have that they can only do temporarily, or can only do and regress, or can't do at all, It's funny because they want fast results, but if they did something, many times that was like half as aggressive and was just consistent with it, they would reach their weight loss goal quite fast. It's not like just not the theoretically fastest way, but quite fast. And that's, you should be happy with that. And if it is the only way, it is the fastest way. But we take training, for instance. That's a thing. If you are consistent with workouts, especially as a beginner, and you just apply progressive overload, you make sure that you challenge yourself a little more each workout, you could see results visually after a month. I remember when I was doing my negative pull-ups starting out, my 15 minutes every other day, and I was in a choir I've been in at the time still. I just remember after a month of doing this, I'm standing on a rehearsal. I haven't really talked to anyone here about, because we have had a summer break, so I haven't really talked to anyone about the fact that I'm training now. Standing there in a white t-shirt, and the guy behind me started like feeling my lats. So I'm like, oh shit, it's showing already. And another thing, I've just recently started training my neck that I haven't trained at all. Don't have any good comparison pictures for you, but I've done it consistently twice per week for a month now, and I can see it's not as good, definitely with better light. I can see that the edges here are getting a lot sharper already because I'm making noob gains there. And it's like, I'm not chasing a fast result. I just know that, most muscles, train them twice per week is going to be good. I'm applying progressive overload, and I've been able to every workout on this because it's new. And then that's just what happens. So, you see, don't be chasing the fastest result. Like, think of it, it's a long-term thing. You want to be changing forever. You don't want to just get a result like that, because that's when you can lose it to. You want to become the result. And the second thing would be that when you embrace that, it doesn't have to be the fastest, most aggressive way possible. It just has to be the way it has to be. If you can stick to the way it has to be, it's gonna be quite fast, I promise. So I think I'll end this video here. Please leave a comment what you think. Tell me about your fast results. I remember once one guy bragged about all these times he lost weight very, very fast with extreme fasting routines on a live stream in the chat. And I was like, okay, so cool stories, bro, but how come you have so many of them? Because you should really only have one, in my opinion. Okay, but like and comment anyway, because it all helps support the channel, so I very much appreciate it. I have a special coaching offer, few more weeks this summer before going back to my old, how do you say, menu, kind of. It's for serious individual one-on-one, so if you want to know more, send me a DM on Instagram or email me. It's all in the description below. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Go fuck yourself with the fast results. Become the result permanently. Okay, peace.